I'm introducing another MMA Germany board member to lead us through this panel. And she is partnered Roland Berger. She not only has more than 20 years of experience in leadership roles as CDO and CMO in different, in the FMCG and healthcare industry. She also, and maybe you find it random that I picked this, but I found it really interesting. Amongst other roles, you were a lecturer of innovation management at Goethe University in Frankfurt. So welcome on stage, Beate Rosenthal. Hello, Beate. You're not alone on stage. You will be joined by some panelists, and if you're surprised, I'm also part of the panel, so I'm switching my roles now. But with me, there is the director at Danone, Patrick Schwintig, and global CMO at Mutti, Raphael Navas. Welcome on stage.
So we have an empty chair, and just think of yourself on that empty chair when we talk about the future of marketing.
Oh, you're fine.
Welcome, team. So thanks for taking the seat and switching roles, Denise, so you can also represent some of those CMOs that you're talking with every day. So we'll start with a little view, probably reinforcing some of the topics that we've heard just now. Now, when we talk about the future of marketing, we talk a lot about technology and we talk a lot about AI. And last year and this year, we've done a global study, and believe it or not, marketing and sales and customer service are continuously those functions that everybody expects to be most disrupted. So let's rather disrupt ourselves than being disrupted with the power of AI that we use for ourselves. Now, life is not getting any easier for us with the complexity that we have out there. For many years, I've been looking at the stats on MarTech and the number of products out there. And by May 2024, it has reached 14,106 different MarTech products. So you're the one to select those that are going to best improve the customer experience to ultimately return to growth and brand value. But it keeps on growing. With AI in the last year alone, we had 3,000 more of such product applications. And there was hardly any churn, with only 2% of them churning. So all of those products are out there, and they're going to make your life more complex. Then you also have 400,000 marketing agencies, and this is not even counting the number of in-house agencies that you are all building potentially in the future of marketing. So that's why we need a bit of orientation, and we need to think about those trends, and that's what we're going to talk about a bit more, that are most relevant for our marketing today. A couple of those scenarios. We didn't talk yet about the speed of innovation. Because obviously, as a marketer that wants to create brand value and company growth, you need to start at the beginning of the value chain and influence the innovation cycle and develop those products and services that are most winning and relevant with your people. But the speed of innovation is increasing at an exponential speed. And many of those AI technologies will help us ideate either with our consumers, with our customers, or on our own with our departments. And those that are winning the game the fastest will probably also succeed. So think about that scenario. That's again connected to the trend in demand creation that is faster than ever before. The content production and distribution is obviously being automated. A lot of manual processes are going to be gone soon, and some of you are moving it in-house. We are much more able to now also make immersive experiences happen, not just in the physical room, but facilitated with AR and VR. I've just heard about a Douglas store somewhere in Berlin that also gives with VR and AR experiences to try on cosmetic products. So it's happening now. And looking forward, we will also obviously see that a lot of those forecasting works that we just heard about will also lead to reduced inventories, reduced need for cash flows that we can then reinvest into our brands. So now let's talk about all of those trends. And as you introduce yourself a little more, Patrick, let's talk a little bit in your role in media, where TV reach is declining. You have a very low attention span. We always compare it to the one of a goldfish. Probably it has gone down in the meanwhile. We have a lot of clutter out there. How are you thinking and preparing your media teams and your media activation to prepare for that future?
Thank you for this question, Beate. Yes, and I think I need to echo a little bit what Santiago just showed, because so introducing myself, Patrick from Danone, nice to meet you all, and I hope we will have some great conversations. But in my role, I'm taking care of the demand generation, let's put it this way, more holistically, with our marketing teams. And we take care of categories from water, so very mass, till rare diseases and nutrition, so a broad span, right? If I talk to the marketing leaders, their biggest challenge doesn't change, it's the same. They say, I need to generate profitable growth for the next 12 months and beyond, and specifically beyond, because in 12 months I can do a lot of promotions, tacticals, where I generate short-term sales. The question is, how do I generate long-term sales through brand equity, and how do I measure it, and how do I forecast it? And I think what we do today to get there is we equip them to raise their game. And what we try to do now with the opportunities ahead of us, specifically AI and data developments that we just observe happening now, we try to set the foundations. If I dream, I see, and we talked about that also a little bit, or heard it, AI agents that my marketing leaders can speak to in simple terms and ask, okay, what is my right mix? What can I do to improve my long-term ROI on that spend? How do I reallocate that? And you need to prepare for that, and you need to train that things. This future will only happen if you have the right foundations. Right foundations, right data, being able actually to train the data. And one day you will be asking this AI agent, hey, please give me that optimized mix for that campaign, on that investments, and it will go through your market data, it will go through your internal sales data, it will go through your finance data, it will model it, it will visualize it, and it will present it easily to you so that you can embed it into your planning going forward. To get there, eventually, we need to now start the foundations. That's actually what we see happening in the industry and where we prepare for.
Foundations, thank you. So, Raphael, tell us first, which trend do you find most relevant to prepare for right now?
Obviously, it's AI, and just to educate yourself on technology. Of course, I don't want to repeat myself. So, what we just heard. So, first of all, I'm Raphael. I'm the global CMO of Mutti. It's a market leader in canned tomatoes, passata, polpa, everything which you need to do Italian dishes. And as we are expanding globally, this trend of AI is, and we're saying that every year, the world is changing. I see that for 25 years, but it's really changing right now, yeah. So I'm hosting every 3 months a global meeting with my markets of Mutti, and we always talk about innovation and communication. And last week, it was just AI, 2 days. And the next meeting will be, again, perhaps only AI. So it's really an important moment where we are looking at this trend right now of AI, and which is going to really disrupt the industry and rewrite the playbook of marketing.
So change is keyword here. So Denise, which other trend would you pick up that marketers need to prepare for right now?
I think it's, for me, more about observing user behavior and understanding user behavior, because I think then you can predict what trends will stick, right? And like what I always do to prepare for future is like downloading every new platform, downloading every app, like trying out myself to really understand what's behind it and why are people so intrigued and why are they using it. Because there's a reason why things like, I don't know, vertical video or stories are now successful across platforms, because the user behavior is so intriguing and people love to engage with it. And I think like this understanding and trying out themselves is something that CMOs definitely should do. And it sounds very simple, but they just don't do it. And because I think you can learn so much. And to give you another example, like, you know, Snapchat is and always has been a platform for visual communication, right? And we understood that if you want to check in with a friend and just send a picture, it maybe helps to express yourself by adding a silly thing, like the puping rainbow or the puppy ears or something that is enabling this user behavior and helping people to express themselves. And by that, we created a new user behavior because AR is now part of everyday communication, and now you can make AR more useful. But like by adding this silly thing, you just created a user behavior because you understood why people want to use it. And I think that's crucial, like really understanding user behavior, because we're talking a lot of trends and things, but what are people really doing with it? I think that's
so starting from the user, but also influencing them. Exactly. So let's go a little deeper, Patrick. In that cluttered media landscape, how will marketers get consumers to notice them?
I think they need to stay ahead of the trend. Giving you an example from our life, so you mentioned the decline of linear TV reach. We identified that back in 2017, specifically on younger age splits. So on one of our key brands, we went out of TV off air in January 2018. And in our BH Aptamil, to be specific. Yeah? In our BHT results, people still mention that they saw the brand within the last 4 weeks in TV. So you need to really understand what's happening out there. You need to prepare for the change and equip yourself. We defined a strategy how to actually have this exact effect that people will say they saw you on TV, and a media strategy around that, and it works. We have the proof for 6 years now. And that's exactly what's going to happen now with AI. People will interact differently through an interface, actually, and you need to prepare to create the brand experiences that you want to achieve. And this is what we do at the moment, yeah.
Now, most of the brands that you run, like Mutti Raphael, are, somewhere in the very, very busy retail shelves, and people are still buying them physically, more and more, obviously, also via e-commerce and quick commerce. So how are you getting attention in the future for your products in the cluttered digital and physical landscape?
Yes, of course, again, AI and getting a lot of data in, that's one piece, but what I'm at least pushing my teams to do is not to lose really empathy and really intuition. Yeah, you need both, not just data science, but also intuition. And I give you an example of the biggest success we had this year. We never thought it would happen. Yeah, so we got a complaint from 2 girls from Spain. Yeah. Who couldn't find us in retail, yeah? And we are strong in Europe, but in Spain is such a big tomato market by themselves. They don't probably need an Italian brand, right? So it's not our focus market. However, one brand manager sent them a gift bag, these 2 girls, and then they did a huge piece of content and thanking us and cooking with our products and had millions of views. We didn't ask them for that, but it was very authentic advertising. After that, we digged into that and said, okay, what's the insight here? And I don't think AI would have discovered that, yeah? But really understanding, okay, there is nostalgia, there is Italian students who are missing their countries and their food. So what we did was an activity, a marketing activity, like a fashion jacket, very cool jacket from Montclair with a lot of slots where you can put 20 bottles of Mutti and go through the airport control. We also did an agreement with the airport that we go through the control with 20 bottles. However, it was a big success. We didn't even expect it. We were in the fashion week. You don't expect a food brand for that. So for me, the biggest learning out of that, to get noticed and so on, okay, get a lot of data from AI, but don't lose intuition, because sometimes it's only your experience, only us can spot, oh, there is something deeper here and a trend we need to really deep dive and explode it.
Yeah, so using the power of the human intuition and creativity for as long as possible, and obviously enhancing it with AI. So Denise, at Snap, you are very close to the younger target groups, the ones that are also very experimental and have a lot of firsts in their life. So what can you tell our marketers here they need to think of to be still in touch with those future generations?
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff we already mentioned. I think you mentioned it, but I think the toughest task for CMOs at the moment is like, what's the really clear brand essence, right? Like to have this really clear brand essence and brand, and it's getting more and more complicated. It sounds very easy, like you did marketing like 20 years and like this is the thing, but it's even more complicated. Really, really clear brand essence, but then the flexibility to change your brand according to the platform you are or according to whom you're talking to. And I think this is a really big challenge, like getting the balance right. I think everybody, as an example, working with creators, right? Like everybody in the room knows they work best and get the most engagement and reach if you give them the most freedom because they know their community best, they do the content that works best. But you still need to be in control of the message and the brand story, and it needs continuity. And this is a really tough challenge, and I think this is the one challenge for CMOs, especially if they want to connect with young people, because young people want them to talk like they know where, like if they are around with them on the platform, they want them to talk in the way they also would talk. The second thing is coming back to user experience, right? I think understanding what moves people and also what moves younger generations, and then see the opportunities that lie there for brands. I think you mentioned an opportunity where you jumped into, which is amazing, exactly what you should do. To give another example, there is a loneliness pandemic, it's how we say, like people are getting more and more disconnected, especially young people. And one of the reasons is because social media, or a lot of social media platforms, took the social out of the social media, meaning, you know, you're opening an app and you see a stranger doing a dance or whatever, and this is cool and it's entertaining, but it's not like you chose to connect with that person, so you're kind of missing a little bit this. And what you see as a result, people are coming back to communities and they're engaging in communities, especially young people. And this is an opportunity for brands to create a community, to start a community, nourish it. So I think that's the second part. And the last part, you mentioned it, technologies and understanding what a technology really does, and not just use it for the sake of using technology, but really understanding what is the technology bringing to my brand story, brand experience. And because I think we all don't have the budgets to jump on every technology. But to give you also an example, like we just launched the new spectacles version, and understanding the new spectacles does something really cool. If you're wearing glasses and I do, we could join together an experience and play chess or whatever here. We could even use generative AI and pull some, I don't know, apples or stuff in the room together and like work on it. And if you understand, oh, this is what the technology brings, then you can see where is my brand part of it. And Lego, for example, it's all about building together stuff. So obviously they were one of the first to jump into this and do an immersive experience where you can build Lego together. And like understanding what is the technology bringing, what's the experience, and then is it right for my brand, and then shaping this experience. So like kind of these three things, brand essence, understanding user behavior, and then also understanding what a technology really brings.
Thank you for summarizing it already so well. Now I'm going a little bit off script, but I'm sure you can answer easily. So when you think about yourself as a leader, what are the things you should keep, and what are the things you should change to be really ready for the future now? Patrick.
I need to start with this one, okay? What we need to change, I'm just speaking openly about our organization at Danone. I think we are traditionally a very gut feel marketing community. Having this intuition that you also mentioned, we need to get more scientifically and more data driven. But at the same time, we are not to lose actually the creativity and the intuition as such for the spotting the right things to do. I think that's, if I think about my marketing community, this is where I would say we need to be more scientific, more data driven, but without losing this special touch.
Thank you. So ambidextrosity, both sides of our brain. Denise, what do you think?
I would say something differently. I think it's being bold and understanding that the landscape changes so fast that you can't know everything, and like accepting that you can't know it, and then there are maybe younger people in your team that know it better, listen to them and just, you know, get out of the driver's seat sometimes and just let them do it and be brave and follow it and just try out stuff. I think that is something every leader should do. Trust the younger generations.
Yeah, from my side, I think you need to keep to be an unstoppable learner. Yeah, and now this is we are going back to college right now on AI. Yeah, that's true. But something, at least at Mutti, because it's a very intense business, it is very linked not only to marketing but to the harvest of tomatoes and so on. We are so internally focused. I just want the company more to be externally focused and really learning from what's out there, which is remarkable. Yeah, and I think there are some great examples out there of brands using AI and creating something purposeful. Yeah, that's also something I would like to step in. Not just creating an innovation, not just creating a great experience. Can we also leave something positive to the world? Yeah, because I feel that over the last years, over this new phenomena, purpose has lost a little bit of ground. Yeah, as a field. So that is something I want to double down on. One example I want to give, externally, learning from external best practices is Unilever. Yeah, so I really like what they did with Hellmann's and that AI activity where you scan the fridge, and through that scanning you can see what's in the fridge, and through AI you get meal inspirations. So the purpose here is don't waste food. Yeah, do something with the leftover. Yeah, treasure it. And I find that very smart, very agile, very fresh, and this is where I want to do more of.
Thank you all. So that's a very rich compendium of topics we need to all get ready for. But if I summarize it in a few sentences, we talk a lot about starting from the user and being ahead of the user, understanding them in such a way that you can build an experience that will please them, surprise them. Link it to your brand essence, and that brand essence shouldn't just be functional or emotional, it should have a purpose. That makes the brand meaningful and adds value to the user, and then embrace technology and data. Get ready, experiment, maybe do a bit of reverse mentoring so that you as future leaders are ready to change your behavior and act at that lightning speed that we're all exposed to. Isn't that exciting? Any time for questions in the audience? Do we have a question? Come on. Then we might need a break soon. So then thanks a lot to my panelists, and for Denise changing roles. We are switching roles again. And looking forward to the rest of the wonderful day.